Lights out on the hour. It is the hour of the time. Lights out for the curfew of the body, soul, and mind. This is Richard Greaser. Lights out on the hour. It is the hour of the time. Sorry about that. I don't know what just happened, but it just played the intro over. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. First song, Lemmings.
I'm outside pacing, it's got me up late tonight. The fall school air is just beginning to bite. Brains are breaking, the feds are playing their cards. There's no surprise, the plebs have always been retards. There is a consistent theme. Why can't they see the scheme? They're just like lemmings running into the ravine. Angry faces, angry noise, angry people pointing fingers at everything but themselves. Why can't they stop and think? Fear tends to make society go insane. When emotions blaze, it's hard to use your brain. I'm not a part of their team, I'm just being me. There's no more energy to give you my sympathy. I've seen it all before. It's a psychological war. But once again, you're bringing conflict to my door. Angry faces, angry noise, angry people pointing fingers at everything but themselves. Why can't they stop and think? Oh hell, they're all losing their minds. Oh hell, falling to their desires. Oh hell, they're all losing their minds. Oh hell, falling to their desires. I won't lose my mind.
Folks, it's been a crazy week. It's going to be a crazy week going forward. We're in the fourth turn in, folks, and the plebs are being retarded. They're all angry. They're all scared. They're all lashing out. They're not prepared for this. They're getting blindsided. If you've been listening to Bitcoin podcasts the last few years, you knew that times were going to get tough. You had a sense of common sense. You're looking at this shit. They're just printing gobs of money. Numbers so big, it's insane. Could you imagine counting to $1 trillion? How long that would take? They're just throwing trillions out like it's nothing. Trillion here, a trillion there. And you're probably like, oh yeah, things are going to be pretty fucked up. There's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a lot of crime. Maybe you read the book When Money Dies. That's a good one. I suggested that to somebody recently. Maybe you read The Mandibles. Maybe you read Atlas Shrugged, and you're seeing this shit, and you're like, fuck. The U.S. government is taking stakes in U.S. companies like Intel. This isn't going to go over well. You know, people's common sense meter is completely uncalibrated or miscalibrated, malcalibrated. You know, you can look at all the shit happen around you. There's all these wars that keep on popping off. These wars are for national, or maybe we need to redefine what the term national security means. It's probably good to redefine it so that's actually accurate. I think, like, you know, the ruling class likes to think or tell the plebs that national security means like your individual safety. But you know, you're looking at all these wars right now that has nothing to do with your safety, your national security. It's just that, you know, one group of insane maniacs fighting another one and just throwing the plebs into the war as cannon fodder while they sit back and they have a good time and they fly on their private jets and go to Epstein Island or wherever they're going to go. That's what's happening. And people's common sense meters are completely malcalibrated. They're angry at each other. You know, we dealt with this thing in the United States for a little bit when the libs were in power, where they were always like trying to highlight like these dangerous white supremacists. That was the great boogeyman. You know, the FBI's out there saying that we have a white supremacy problem. You know, throwing that out, saying that whiteness is a problem, that white men are a problem. If you're a white man, that probably didn't feel very good. Now the FBI is saying it's the trans people, and they're pulling these trans shooters out from all over the place, championing them. And a lot of these white males that have felt, you know, ostracized, or, you know, whatever it is, they felt like there was a lot of pressure coming after them, and that the propaganda apparatus and the intelligence agencies had them in the crosshairs. There's a lot of pressure. And now they're all excited. Instead of thinking for a second, like, hey, that felt really shitty. They're like, we need to go like round up all these people that aren't like us, that think differently. You know, the thing that's really, you know, unsettling to me, there's a lot of discussion of civil war. And the thing that's unsettling to me is, you know, there's a bunch of lunatics online that are, you know, saying that they think it's great that like Charlie Cooker was shot. So one thing that people need to understand is that people are hyperbolic online. And you have no idea what you're reading or who's putting it out there. It's hard to prove that there's real people that think this way, that don't have some sort of you know, malicious intent. Like, it'd be very, very easy, you know, for a state, for example, to manufacture the problem in regards to public sentiment. I mean, they've done this so many times. I'm not advocating for trans people. I'm just like, chill for a moment, slow down and think. You're really going to trust the FBI and whatever they're putting out? You're going to trust the federal government just because the other guy's in charge? For real? But yeah, people are emotional. They're lemmings. They're running off the cliff. Folks, the money's breaking down and there's chaos. It's shitty economically. It's amazing that people haven't freaked out more than they have, to be honest, with how expensive things are. It really goes to show how powerful of a drug Netflix is. McDonald's. It's a hell of a drug, that shit. It turns your brain off. They're doing a good job with that. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're on Zap.Stream tonight. I'm not sure why or what the issue is. But you can check this out on YouTube. I believe it's under the Liberty Under Attack channel. We're on streaming on Twitter. Try to get back on Zap.Stream. I was excited to get on Zap.Stream this week because you can stream on Primal now. That's pretty cool. There's things happening over on Nostr. The way things are interconnecting is really cool. Fountain's working on streaming. So I really apologize for the issue there. I'll have to do a post-mortem of this and figure it out. But there's always something that goes wrong with this shit. That's how it works. But yeah, so people are ramping up. The rhetoric's, kind of scary. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just confident whatever happens, it's going to be stupid. Because you got a bunch of people that are really charged up with emotions that have no idea what's going on. And they're just looking for an excuse to direct their anger somewhere. They feel a sense of powerlessness. They feel they're not listening to Bitcoin podcasts. They're not smoking cigarettes. They're not reading Atlas Shrugged. They're not really doing anything creative. They're looking around at them and they're like, fuck, things are expensive. And the best I have right now is Netflix and sports ball. And maybe that's not doing it for me. Maybe I can't afford as much beer to numb it out. Maybe the psychotropic medications or the Xanax is just, it's not fixing the problem. My life's a complete disaster. And they're angry and they want to direct it at somewhere. And you have scary things on the TV. People are getting shot. Podcasters are getting shot. But the things that the right is doing right now is exactly what the left was doing for the last few years. And the right sat there and they bitched about how unfair it was. Well, this is unfair. You can't weaponize the justice system against your enemies. You can't, Alex Jones is out there. They're going to declare martial law. The globalists are coming for you. So now Alex is Jones. I haven't really watched him a whole lot, but imagine the things that he's saying right now are essentially, President Trump is taking unprecedented measures to take back our country from the globalists, and only by these incredibly Orwellian policies of marching the National Guard on some people are excited about the National Guard getting deployed all over the country and like a bunch of people getting arrested and Palantir mass surveillance of everybody to try and stop pre-crime. There's some people that are excited about that because that's freedom, right? That's what it takes to protect our freedom. So people that have abused you for decades and lit this economy on fire and regulated productivity away are going to act different this time because you elected a different guy. The guy that was in charge during the COVID bullshit. The guy that still brags about Operation Warp Speed. it's hard to have it's hard to have a lot of respect for the way people are thinking right now, or failing to think. The plebs. It's happening in the Bitcoin community. The Bitcoin community is being dumb too. Matthew Crowder is losing his mind right now over nonsense. These guys are losing their mind. They're doing open letters begging Natalie Brunell to have these people on her. I'm pretty sure the people that they were talking about have already been on her podcast. I'm pretty sure Mechanic went over there at some point. Natalie Brunell has better things to podcast than not. But you're seeing it. Like, there's a lot of vulnerable people out there that just really feel this sense of desperation. So what you essentially do is you just attack whatever it is at the core of their security, and then they just turn their brains off and they lash out. And what Charlie Kirk was to a lot of these guys on the right that are super wound up right now. And like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be wound up to some degree. I just slow down and think for a second. Think about where the information you're getting is coming from. Ask questions of if it's actually factual. You know, when you see a narrative being presented on Twitter, just think for a second. Don't just accept it as truth and reality, because it's so easy to pseudo spoof everything. I really enjoyed that Lemming song. I mean, it's just what Charlie Kirk represented to a lot of these guys was he represented their belief structures, their tribe, their people. Charlie Kirk was important to the right in America because he was the guy that convinced the Zoomers that boomer conservatism is cool. It's really important to a lot of these guys. You attack a figure, you kill a figure in a very brutal way publicly. It's going to feel really personal to people that have watched hundreds of hours of his content, that feel like they got to know him, that feel like their lives were impacted by him. Taking out a public figure like that, it's a great way to just completely destabilize a lot of people's sense of security. To many of these people, it feels like it's an attack on their Christian values. It feels like it's a attack on the foundation of how they see America. It's an attack on free speech. And they just want to lash out. You look at the people freaking out about, knots and core right now. It's the same exact thing. It's an attack on your well-being and your livelihood. These people think this stuff doesn't really typically, or it often isn't based on reality, especially when you see these like responses that people have that have these like, big callings for some sort of moral, social virtue thing. Like, we need to fix this because all of humanity depends on us. Something along those lines. It's a lot of times bullshit. I mean, what it is like when you're getting to that point where you're really having to communicate to like try and motivate people with emotion instead of facts, emotional manipulation. There's probably not a lot of legitimacy to what's going on there. But yeah, so folks, this is Music Mondays on the PAZNIA Radio Network. If you want to learn more about what PAZNIA is, go to PAZNIAradio.com/radio and check it out. But this is a show that I do. I'm the founder of the Bugle. I do this for my buddy Rhea every other Monday, where I just play music. Last week I had Bubba on. I thought last week's show was great. It was one of my favorite conversations I've ever had. If you get a chance, go listen to that one. You can find it on the Vonu podcast. I think Rayo uploaded it there. I think you can find it on the Vonu podcast RSS feed on a podcast player. You can find the stream on our Twitter or you go to live on I think it's Liberty Under Attack on YouTube. I'm not sure. But start clicking on things and they get lost and distracted. There we go. But yeah, folks, we're gonna have a conversation. Well, you're gonna listen to me ramble, and I'm gonna play some songs. So I think most of the songs I got up tonight are songs that I have written. The first song was Lemmings. So I'm working on this new album, this EDM electronic album, and I bought like a DJ thing. I want to start mixing my electronic songs that I'm putting out. But the way the show cadence works is I ramble and then I play music. And most of the music I try to line with, where I think the ramblings are going to go. It's hard to project when you start. You just start and go. But thank you everybody for being here tonight. Looks like we got 69 viewers on Twitter. Nice. The next song, I believe this is the first. I don't think I've ever played it. I like to debut music on this show that I've written. I don't think I've played this one before, but the next song is called Monitoring the Situation. I wrote this one when Israel and the US were bombing Iran and Iran was bombing Israel. It's been a little bit, but this is on a new album that I'll publish soon called Doomsday's DJ.
War on the TV, missiles are launching, struggling to try and comprehend. We are monitoring the situation and it looks like they've gone off the deep end. When the guns fire and the war starts, I will be looking at the news when I should be sleeping. I want to watch the way they drop all those bombs and stay up late to see the mission creeping. Fires are burning off in the distance. The fog of war swirls around like a storm. Sirens wail a warning that doom descends. Mass formation psychosis has formed. War on the TV, missiles are launching, struggling to try and comprehend. We are monitoring the situation and it looks like they've gone off the deep end. We are monitoring the situation. So cynical, but the situation is critical. I can't keep my eyes off all the threats. The wife's calling me to come to bed, but my eyes are glued to the situation. I tell her I can rest when I'm dead, that I can't pause this investigation. We are monitoring the situation. We are monitoring the situation and trying to follow all the trends. This is the story of a journalist on which the fate of the world depends. as we sit here, smoking cigarettes, stop and take a breath. All I wanted you to see is the ember burning in the dark, like a beacon to the lost, a challenge to leave a mark. I look on my shoulder, the darkness is behind. We can win the world we want if we choose to be alive. All I wanted you to see is the ember burning in the dark, like a beacon to the lost, a challenge to leave a mark. We are fighting. We are climbing. We are fighting. We are climbing to see. We draw together closer, looking for the escape, searching for shelter from the storm's rage. All I wanted you to see is the ember burning in the dark, like a beacon to the lost, a challenge to leave you marked in the darkness. We are fighting. We are climbing. We are fighting. We are climbing to see.
I don't know if it really feels good to be knowledgeable of what's going on. At least not immediately. You know what I mean? The problem is other people's energy is pretty overwhelming. When they're all whipped up in a frenzy, you're just listening to NPCs just like screech about nonsense and argue back and forth about superficial things that don't matter. They're very confident that they know a lot about what they're talking about, and they just like watched like something on YouTube or heard a podcaster say something. That's where they're super informed on a subject. TV said this. It's like hard to be around that. You know what I mean? It's like you guys are living in a completely other planet, and it's not planet reality. It wears on you, you know, if you really try to be like awake and aware and like really limit these people's influence on you with their stupidity, it wears on you. It's a full-time job. And so that's why I think it's so important to connect with people that are like you. You know what I mean? To build these ecosystems. The fourth turning, I think it's really it's a it's going to be a time of a lot of upheaval and chaos and competition. And so, like, understanding things is really beneficial for knowing how to make the correct decisions about what to do. One of the big ones is just like not being so emotionally overwhelmed. Just chill out. That's why I'm a huge fan of smoking cigarettes. I just think if you're not smoking cigarettes during the fourth turning, I don't know how you're going to make it. It's the way I see it. But you know, if you've been listening to Bitcoin podcasts for a while, you've been paying attention to the world around you. You knew it was going to get hard. I mean, how many doomer guys has Marty Bent had on? Just you know, podcast after podcast, year after year, they're like, yeah, everything's fucked and it's even going to be worse. Like, how many times have you heard Lynn Alden say nothing stopped this train? And if it didn't sink in at this point that things are going to be really hard and that you had to prepare for it, I don't know what to think. But yeah, I don't really think there's that many people out there that are listening to all this stuff and they're just like, oh yeah, you know, things are going to be fine because I bought Bitcoin on Swan and withdrew it to my Blockstream Jade. And that solves everything. I'm going to be able to live like an upper middle class life or be wealthy as a result of this, and everything's just going to be fine. And I'll still be able to go to Whole Foods or buy the nice steak or whatever, and not have to like deal with the chaos. I'll be insulated from it. I'll just like sit and laugh and watch as everybody else has fun saying poor. No, that's not how things work. The fourth turning is fucking insane. Maybe you're lucky and you live in a region that's just not going to be riddled with chaos and nonsense, but I doubt it. People are desperate. They're fighting for control in all the classes. The ruled class is just acting as cannon fodder for the ruling class, but the ruling class is fighting amongst themselves very, very, very brutally right now. It's probably only going to get nastier. You look at the wars happening; they're absolutely brutal right now. Donald Trump just changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Should be a pretty clear sign what his intentions are. The no more new wars president and Ukraine in a day. But yeah, it's important not to be emotionally overwhelmed. And one of the ways is just fucking embrace it. It's got to be difficult. This is what happens when people just allow nonsense to be perpetuated. This is what happens when the majority of the population is too fucking retarded to look at the money and see it as the problem. Oh yeah, they just printed $8 trillion. We're just gonna blame Biden for it. We're gonna put the I did this sticker on the gas pumps. Tell people to vote for Trump. That's where the majority of the population is at right now. They're fucking clueless as to what's happening. And you try and explain it to them. They're just like, yeah, I don't know. But the other guy that I don't like is the problem. Conservatives or the liberals or, you know, whoever is doing this, the billionaires. They fail to see the problems with central banking. It's right there in front of their face. Why the fuck do you think everything's so expensive? All these wars that are happening, they're not even bothering to justify it. take care of yourself. Spend time with people that you like and love. Follow your friends. It's really important to have friends right now. It's really important to have good friends. It's really important to have people that have your back. Because you can't really go through this thing all alone with where we're going. I don't really know realistically. So my philosophy on the content that I put out is I'm not really trying to convince anybody of anything with my music, with my podcasting. I'm just trying to find people that are similar to me, connect with them, cheer them up, make them feel a little bit better about their lives. Because I was that guy, that felt like I was on an island all alone until I met people that were like me. And I think one of the most reassuring things that can help you during crazy times like this, when the plebs are acting like retards and you're surrounded by plebs, is to have people around you that think like you, that you can actually have a conversation with without having to explain like thousands of hours of context. Like there's these agreements. They've read the books that you've read. They listen to the podcasts that you've read. They have similar responses when they see things happen in the world. And it's not just like this unhinged, repeating things that you saw on the internet. One of the hard things about being a statist. So like a lot of these is, I think Sam Hyde, I was watching a little bit of his podcast right before the stream. Rod sent me a clip of Sam Hyde, and Sam Hyde did this like intro talking about how these leftists want you dead and want you to kill you. Well, that's just how statism works. You believe in this apparatus of coercion, and you try and use it to dominate and control people that think differently than you. So the right wants to kill a bunch of people, the left wants to kill a bunch of people. And if you don't relate to that kind of psychopathic ideology of coercion, it's easy to feel pretty isolated. And I think a lot of people like try to relate to these guys, but then they think about it for a second. They're like, "Yeah, these people are unhinged. This is nuts." I don't know why they believe it. It's difficult because you feel homeless. America has a very high non-voting population. It's great. We need to celebrate the non-voters as much as possible, because if you vote, you don't have the right to complain. The non-voters are the ones that have the right to complain, because they're essentially saying that they do not consent to the legitimacy of the system, that they have a problem with it, that they don't think it's a good use of their time, that they're, a little bit more cognizant, that they're better stewards of their time than their peers that go through the ritualistic process of picking a preordained pedophile to steal from them and tell them where they can't smoke cigarettes. Shout out to the non-voters. I see you. Appreciate you. You have the right to complain. Tell a voter they don't have the right to complain. But yeah, something wonderful that happened this week was that Lola Leitz put out this very interesting, I don't know if it's her, but The Rage, her publication, put out this interesting paper talking about how the Patriot Act is going to be expanded to cryptocurrencies, essentially banning privacy tools like Whirlpool. Plebs love this shit. The plebs love to be surveilled, because plebs have nothing to hide, right? They have no self-respect, no dignity. They're completely broken down, completely demoralized to the point where the state has the right to look at every single message they have. every single dollar they earn. They'll complain about inflation. They accept taxation. But they'll find all sorts of silly ways to complain about inflation. The leftists will say it's due to, business owners or capitalists cranking up prices. It's like, well, why are they cranking up prices and paying the worker less? They're like, oh, because they're greedy. It's like, okay, so they're more greedy today than they were yesterday? Really? I don't even know what the right wing's justifying. The right wing's like, oh, it's the leftists. They're creating all these policies like minimum wage. Like, sure, minimum wage is retarded, but very few of them will go as far as saying central banking is the problem. And they don't believe in free markets. They're like, oh yeah, bring on the tariffs. This is great. Things are more expensive because of Biden. It's incredible. If you haven't watched it yet, go to YouTube after this and go look up The Jones Plantation by Larkin Rose. He made a movie. The movie's okay. The music sucks. Makes it difficult to watch, but he's got a YouTube video called The Jones Plantation that is it's incredibly accurate as to what we're watching right now in the political ecosystem. But yeah, I mean, it's like, why the fuck right now is important to expand the Patriot Act to cryptocurrencies? This whole idea of giving individuals privacy or stripping away, like this is a joke that I've seen, is like they have all this surveillance, they have all these crazy systems to monitor everybody, but they couldn't find the killer and they had no idea who it was. It took his dad snitching on him. You want more of the surveillance? You think it's a good idea? I know that people listening don't, but it's just like, I get to complain because I didn't vote. So I'm going to use that privilege tonight a little bit, at least. We'll get somewhere more productive. But like, you see all this shit. Like, this is why I put out this content, is because I'm not really looking to convince anybody. Like, if you disagree with me, I'm probably not going to convince you. You probably believe the things that are on the TV are real. You probably believe that the history book that you read in school is real. We're probably just never going to come to any agreement because we're on completely different planets. And I don't care if you think I'm unhinged or deranged. I know I'm not. I smoke cigarettes and read Atlas Shrugged and listen to Bitcoin podcasts. And I knew things were going to be shitty, and I knew why they were going to be shitty. I'm not the one that's misguided. I'm confident in that. And part of the reasons is because you're probably losing your fucking mind right now, incredibly unhappy. And I feel great. I'm enjoying life. I'm doing the things that I want to. And I was largely prepared for the shit, both, mostly mentally. But I make this shit for people that are like me, that think like I do. You're not alone out there. Folks, I'm feeling kind of a EDM mix tonight. I've just been enjoying electronic music a lot recently. I'm going to be writing more and more electronic music for this new album, Doomsday's DJ. It feels like we're in the end times during Doomsday. Who knows if it is? I think too much time speculating on it is kind of a waste, but it is good to know that life is fragile. Be thinking that way and just have some urgency about doing the things that you want to, spending time with the people you love, and enjoying life. I think that's a healthy way to respond. Have a sense of urgency. But yeah, next two songs. I think this is a debut. I'm not sure on the show. I've lost track at this point. John Galt of Journalism, followed by Take My Hand. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. I'll be right back.
odds stacked against me. From the day I was born, the world looked upon me with a disdain and scorn. But deep in my chest, there was a dream, a foolish will to fight in order to become redeemed. Whoa.
It never was a fair fight. They came for me in the dark of night, tried to kill my independence, accept their sinister agendas. They told me what to think, told me I was broken, sent me to a shrink.
They tried to tell me what to do, put me in a worthless box. But I'm the master of my mind until my heart stops. I'm no hero, I'm no devil. I came to do what needs to be done. Riding off into the distance towards a quickly setting sun. Typing away at my typewriter. I could not give a damn. Smoking all day like a chimney. I'm the modern Marlboro man. They may come again to try and crush my resolve, but there's a permanent problem, one which they cannot solve. I've read Endless Road one too many times. I'm the John Gold of journalism, exposing all their crimes. They try to tell me what to do, put me in a worthless box. But I'm the master of my mind until my heart stops. I'm no hero, I'm no devil. I came to do what needs to be done. Running off into the distance towards the quickly setting sun. Typing away in my typewriter. I could not give a damn. Smoking all day like a chimney. I'm the modern Marlboro man. I remember this day in Eden's court, and we'll make sure they regret the day I was born. Deep in my chest, there is a dream of foolish will to fight. I've been redeemed for doing what is right. I'm no hero, I'm no devil. I came to do what needs to be done. Riding off into the distance towards the quickly setting sun. Typing away in my typewriter. I could not give a damn. My name is Richard Greaser, and I'm the modern Marlboro man. We'll dance until the end, while the world is falling apart. They won't understand, but let them all be dead. Feel the music in your heart. Distractions abound to cloud your sight, but you have found the courage to fight. Weighing the cost of facing the system's rejection. The masses are lost, but you have direction. Why do they feel threatened by people with self-respect? We will not kneel and pretend, or numb out and disconnect. We're here together, watching the world fall apart. I know you feel the pressure, but this is just the start. Come take my hand, let's make a stand. Here is a chance, it's time to dance. Come and take my hand, we'll dance until the end. While the world is falling apart, they won't understand, but let them all be dead. Feel the music in your heart. The war will not be won if we can't have fun. Have the courage to use your mind. They may hate our memes, but they cannot crush our dreams. We can still have a good time. Don't let them get you down. That's what they try to do. Break down your sense of self by mocking what is true. If you don't believe your eyes and refuse to use your brain, you will fall for their lies and likely go insane. Come take my hand, let's make a stand. Here is a chance, it's time to dance. Come and take my hand, we'll dance until the end. While the world is falling apart, they won't understand, but let them all be dead. Feel the music in your heart.
I would suggest dancing. Dancing is a good time. Shows that you have confidence. There's a lot of guys out there that don't like to dance. They like to pretend like they're too cool to dance. Dancing is good for you. It resets your nervous system. A lot of girls like it when guys dance. Shows you have a sense of like security and confidence. And so it's hard. It takes some time to learn how to dance, but dance is good. Dance is a great thing to do in the fort turning. Put on some tunes. Reset your nervous system. This shit wears on you, especially if you're around a lot of normies all the time. It just wears on you. You got to do things to reset your nervous system. You need outlets and to have a release. Like music's one of the best ones. Like dancing to music is a really good one. I think playing music's a really good one. Singing's really good. Writing's really good. Podcasting is pretty good. You need a release from the shit though. That's productive. That gets you recharged, makes you feel good and excited about life. And I think EDM music's good to dance to. It's fun. It's like a recent thing I've kind of gotten into. I started going to EDM shows every once in a while. It's fun. You do it sober, have a good time. You do it hammered and have a good time. I always think it's kind of weird to like drink at that show, those types of shows, you know. I don't know. Some people like it, not my thing, but yeah, it's good to go to stuff, get a release, listen to music, dance around a little bit. That's part of the reason why I want to DJ. Is I just feel like a lot of the EDM music out there is just like, I mean, it's pretty good, but it's just like it's kind of superficial. But that's what a lot of people like. It's not really what I like, though. I like things that matter, that are relatable. Uh, but yeah, dance is good, playing music's good, singing's good. I think supporting people that you really like is a good use of your time. Makes you feel good. Being part of people's success feels good. Like believing in people that are really good at something, like finding somebody that you believe in and working with them, supporting them in a variety of ways. It feels good to do that because you're having an impact on the world around you, but it also just feels good to have faith in humanity. Faith that not everybody sucks. And like really believing in somebody feels good. I try to do that. I try to support the podcasters that I really like. Try to support the musicians I really like. Try to support my friends on the intellectual Silk Road. Support their content, buy their books, boost their podcast, boost their music, share their music, talk about their music. Promote the stuff they're doing. Because not everything's hopeless. Smoke cigarettes, read Atlas Shrugged, listen to EDM music, and dance. You'll probably feel a lot better. I mean, that's what I've been doing recently. Is like I'll get all wound up. I'll look at Twitter and it's just pleb slop, and I'll just be so irritated. Like I don't want to see the stupid pleb slop. I don't want to see all this half baked bullshit. I don't want to see these very clear psychological operations being done on the plebs. I'm tired of it. And I'll just be like, moments away, or that thought will cross my mind. Okay, it's time to delete your Twitter account. Like, fuck all these guys. You don't need to be here anymore. I'll just be like, well, I think what I need to do is I need to go stretch and then sing and dance a little bit. By the end of the night, I'll be feeling tip top. I'll be working on new music. I'll have created something or refined something. Set up something for the Bugle. Written something. I'll feel better. I'll just feel, absolutely better about everything, about the direction that I'm going, direction that the people I'm with are going. And it's like a really important thing to feel right now as everybody else is freaking out. Everybody's freaking out, trying to figure out what they should think and how they should respond to whatever's going on. And the first thing, anytime anything crazy or traumatic happens, is you just stop and you should think and you should evaluate the situation. You check your emotions. Just slow down. Slow down for a minute. This is the difference between an NPC and like a conscious human being. The NPC just reacts to whatever the stimulus is. There's buttons that have been programmed into them. So when X happens, they respond with what X happens equals response. Whereas, a conscious, it doesn't mean you're always going to be right on every scenario, but a conscious humans like see something traumatic happen and they stop and they slow down and they have all this context because they've been paying attention for a long time, and they're like, they're looking for patterns. They have an idea of who they can and can't trust. Should they trust the Indian guy that said to a dead Christian man, "I'll see you in Valhalla"? They're like, maybe I shouldn't trust this guy and everything he's saying. This institution, the guy that said that Epstein killed himself a little bit ago. Maybe I shouldn't trust this guy. Let's just slow down and knowing in this age of information that I can't believe everything I see on the internet. And just because 1,000 Twitter accounts are tweeting the same variation of some idea that maybe it's not true. Maybe you got certain feelings in a certain direction that drive you emotionally. Maybe you got to check those and think a little bit. Even if the information is confirming your biases of what you're already predisposed to think, maybe you got to slow down and think a little bit about it and check those biases a little bit. That's what a conscious person does. And having a nervous system that is grounded. Tobacco is so grounding. It's a magical substance. Start things like just movement in general, because your body wants to go into this flight or fight or freeze, and the movement helps you reset. Helps your body reset its nervous system, because this shit you're being bombarded with is traumatic. We live in a very traumatic world, but you got to learn how to deal with it. And being an NPC isn't really advantageous for your success. Being able to think and analyze is good for your success. It's hard to think when you're in a traumatic situation. Like, why did 70% of Americans think that Saddam Hussein, the former head of Iraq, whether he's a president or prime minister, whatever he was, the dictator of Iraq, why did they think he was involved with the 9/11? He very clearly wasn't, but 70% of Americans were like, yeah, you need to invade Iraq because of 9/11. It's because they're able to weaponize this trauma to mind control people and push them in a certain direction. They're not critically thinking or evaluating information. And back when they did that, the internet wasn't really as much of a thing as it is today. But, the internet is very sophisticated in the way that they can do the same thing. Like, people back then thought they were informed. They were supporting those things. They genuinely believed that they were informed and they knew what's going on. Years later, they learned everything that they believed was a lie. Some of them either refuse to pay attention to that and evaluate, or they're just so consumed by whatever the current thing is, they don't put much thought into it. But it's important to think and not be a lemon and not just sign up to be cannon fodder and to fight for groups of people that don't serve your interest whatsoever. And the people that are taxing you to death and centrally controlling the economy are not the people that are serving your interest. The people that are surveilling you. The people that are advocating for the Patriot Act to be applied to cryptocurrencies, those are not your friends. And the media apparatus that supports them and advocates for them are not your friends. And the people that are screeching at you to hate these other guys are not your friends. Like, just because the rest of the population is retarded and some of them in a way that's dangerous doesn't mean that you have to get super bloodthirsty, because it's important to evaluate who's an immediate threat. And honestly, sometimes you just have to remove yourselves from the situation. If your city's been ran over by communists, you got to move away from the communists. They conquered it. But yeah, anyways, I've been having a really good time. I've been having a lot of great conversations with people. I've been enjoying writing a lot of music, and I've been enjoying consuming a lot of really good music and content in general, consuming good Bitcoin podcasts. There's a lot of people out there that say that all Bitcoin podcasts suck. They're boring. They all say the same thing over and over again. Well, you're not covering enough ground. You're not exploring enough. There's a lot of really interesting stuff out there. There's a lot of really cool, inspiring, and creative things that are out there. There's a podcast I bet none of you have ever heard of called Bitpunk FM. This guy on Noster, he sells cassettes. If you're shitting on Bitcoin podcasts, you never listen to Bitpunk FM. Close your mouth, go listen to it, and then come back to me. And then after you complain about that one, then go listen to another one. But it's different. It's creative. I've contributed to it before. I probably should again. But there's a lot of stuff out there that's really cool. I got a long list of stuff I got to listen to this week. I unfortunately got a pretty busy week, so it's gonna be hard. Burning the candle on both ends. But yeah, I think live music is great. It's a great way to connect with real people in real life. And there's something truly special when you're seeing somebody perform their music for you live. I think it's really important to support live artists, to put money in the tip jar, to buy their merch. It's a good way to make a difference in the world, and to vote with your wallet, because if you're supporting an artist, it's like there's two ways artists, people are bitching about Taylor Swift right now. It's a common thread, like, I don't care about Taylor Swift. I hate Taylor Swift. I don't want to know about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. It's like, you just like caring about it, paying attention to it is part of the problem. Because all that grumpy energy directed at Taylor Swift, like, if you don't like her, just don't listen to her music. And if you're hanging around people that just like all they want to do is talk about Taylor Swift, maybe you need to evaluate who you're spending time with. But there's so much good shit out there. This is what I was talking about with Bubba last week. There's so much good shit. There's so many people doing it that are so talented, so dedicated to what they're doing, so creative, that are worth spending the time to try and discover and support. It's worth the time and effort, because it'll make you feel better about the world around you. It'll make you feel better about yourself. It'll make you feel better about humans and because humans are fucking awesome. Like, the potential that humans have is absolutely incredible. The things that people are capable of are astounding, especially when people dedicate their whole lives and all their energy to it. Absolutely astounding. The mediocrity is frustrating, but the way to deal with the mediocrity and the champion of the mediocrity is just not put up with it. Don't give it your energy. Don't give it your attention. Go and find things that are really creative, that resonate with you. Put energy into it. A lot of times, the people that are the most creative and the hardest working, they're just punished. They're punished by the algorithm. I went on the Canadian Bitcoin podcast with Rod Palmer last week, and we were talking about the open mouth thumbnails. Like, the way this social media and discoverability works, it promotes stupidity, it promotes mediocrity, it promotes dumbing down. Because the way a lot of the monetization works is by finding the broadest audience possible, casting the widest net. And in order to cast the widest net, you have to make your stuff the stupidest. Because you're creating content for all the mid curves and left curves. And it might not be what you feel really passionate about, or it feels good. Like, a lot of people get frustrated by it because they're consuming this content, especially like the content that's popular, and they're like, this is stupid. The things that people aren't talking about are dumb. They're not true. They're completely detached from reality. You probably don't feel good consuming it. You're tired. You're like, why do I have to look at clickbait on Twitter all day? Tired of seeing clickbait. I'm tired of seeing the breaking tweets. I'm tired of seeing Justin, and I'm tired of seeing these kind of weird superficial platitudes. It's because you got to go searching for the things that matter, because that's how these social platforms work. I don't think people are getting stupider. I think people have been as stupid as they've always been. And there's a minority of people that are really intelligent. And this is part of what makes talented, skilled, visionary, crazy people so special, is that they're special because they decided not to be like everybody else with all the social pressures. It makes them unique. Like the greatest, most influential, like something that's talked over and over and over again in the music world is this moment at the I forgot what the festival was. The folk festival where Bob Dylan went electric, where he decided to go from acoustic guitar to electric guitar and play a more modern thing. Bob Dylan was very well known for folk music, and he changed the style of his music, and people freaked out about it. Especially this folk festival, which he was, was kind of where his up and coming went. Bob Dylan was special because he was willing to do things that were different. Like, that's why he's remembered. He's willing to talk about things that people weren't willing to talk. He's willing to talk about things in depth and in a sophisticated and creative way. Well, a lot of people were just like thinking about simplicity and trying to get things on the radio or whatever, trying to cater to the masses. Like he had this breakthrough. Every once in a while, one of these creatives breaks through. But like a lot of people that are really good and creative, I don't know if they ever break through. And this is like one of the things that I was talking about with Bubba. Like Bubba had some really good music. Some really, really good music. And it's interesting to think if guys like Bubba were given a chance, like some of these larger musicians were, he'd probably be thought of exactly like that. He was a very talented and creative musician that just didn't get a shot. But you could be listening to him on classic rock radio today, theoretically, if you met the right person that believed in him. And so that's something interesting to think about. There's a lot of really creative and wonderful people out there that just haven't gotten their shot. I had this incredible experience this week. So, I talk about the band Stardust a lot. They're my buddies. They're some of my favorite people. Like, I just want them to be successful because they're really fucking good. They're a progressive metal band. And I had this really wonderful experience this week where I was talking to, a friend who is a professional singer. He's got some good credentials in the professional singing world. And I showed him Noah's, one of her recent videos and songs, Dazzling Darkness. And the excitement he had on his face was incredible. Because he could recognize the amount of skill and talent. His excitement was so real. And he doesn't really like that type of music, but like he was able to recognize that skill. He was able to see and he got so excited. He's like, I want to go to one of those shows. I will be there when they come to the US. And that was cool. That was cool seeing that. I mean, that was validating for me because like sometimes I feel like with as much as I like them, I feel like I'm a crazy person. I talk about them constantly. and it's rare that I see that response. There's a lot of people that really like them, but there's a lot of people, the Bitcoin ecosystem, with people that I interact with that don't see it. But you can just see it. I mean, go try. I say this all the time. Go sing a Linkin Park song. Go sing a Emily Armstrong Linkin Park song, and you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to nail it. You might even be able to hit Chester Bennington. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Like, you'll be able to carry it. You won't sound half bad. You can do it in karaoke, and then go try sing a Stardust song. Go try sing Dazzling Darkness. Dazzling Darkness. Here, let me pull up the lyrics. I'm blanking on it. I should know. I'll embarrass myself real quick. Dazzling Darkness. No, was trying to teach me how to sing this song. This is so funny. I find you in the dark, don't even know your name. You pull me from the pit again and again. When you take my hand, to this moment I give in. I know you hold it tight, and it's dazzling. I'm not even going to go for the chorus. It's a little bit outside of my range. Or, well, maybe I will. Dazzling darkness. You know, you see the difference. Like, you just go try that out with different songs, even if you're not much of a singer. If you're insecure about it, just go off somewhere by yourself. Sing in the shower. Just do it. And compare the difference between an Emily Armstrong, like Heavy as the Crown. That's a good song. I like it. And just any of Noah's music. It's a night and day difference. So one of the biggest singers in the world, her songs are easy and simple. And then you look at this, very incredibly talented woman that does not have hardly the reach. It's hard to get people to even notice her and what she's doing with this incredible band. I sat in last Saturday, or the Saturday before, on a call with their new bassist. His name's Bar. This dude, their songs are so hard on the bass. He's practicing like 4 hours a day to learn their songs, and he hasn't even learned all their songs yet. He's been playing with them for a little bit. Like, the level of difficulty and complexity of their music is incredible, and it's hard to appreciate it unless you're a musician. But there's people like this out there that are so good. They're not getting the time of the day. They're not getting the attention. And you have the opportunity to go out there and find them and support it. You know, people that really like, I like listening to their music because it feels good, because like I have this appreciation. First of all, I have a connection with them because we talk a lot. They're on Noster. They're sending me their Noster posts all the time. It's fucking awesome. They like Bitcoin. They like Bitcoin podcasts. I'm getting comments, getting zaps on my podcast by these incredible musicians. But there's all these people out there that are so good. I have a Bubba song on tonight because I really liked it. I really like Bubba's music. I've been sending him a lot of my songs, and we've been one of the songs he gave me some on tonight. He gave me some feedback on. Shit. I need to pay attention to the time or I'm not going to get 40 minutes left. All right. It's hard to pace myself sometimes. I just want to ramble when I get excited on topic. But yeah, there's so much good shit out there. This is one of the things I really enjoyed about Bubba too, is he's been sending me a lot of stuff that he really likes. Like, I've listened to a lot of Joe Martin. Listen to I've showed people Joe Martin. I'm excited about Joe Martin. I've listened to a lot of Jesse Wells. He's been sending me all sorts of stuff. Fundamentals does this too. But yeah, so get excited about things that are people. This is the solution to Taylor Swift. Turn it off. You don't have to listen to that bullshit and go consume something that you like or create something that you like or both. Go dance, go sing, go reset your nervous system. Get off Twitter, get off the feed, quit staring at your phone. It's not all fucked. There's some really great shit out there, folks, that you should feel good about, that you should feel excited about. Things are going to be difficult. There's no changing that. You might as well enjoy life either way, instead of bitching and moaning about things being difficult. But you got to be creative to find ways to deal with the bullshit. But yeah, I've got another new song. I just, when I do these music shows, I feel a lot of pressure to have some new music and not play the same thing over and over again. This is a breakup song I wrote. I felt inspired by Taylor Swift, so I decided to write a wholesome breakup song. And then the next song is "Play the Night" by Bugle. I really like it. It's really catchy. And it's a song talking about a woman that goes on a lot of one night stands, which I think is kind of a relatable thing today for a lot of people, a lot of women. And I mean, it is for men too, but I just like it. It's a great song by Bugle. But yeah, here we go. Couple more songs, smoke some cigarettes, take a break from the EDM, and then yeah, we're done with the EDM for the night. Back to folk country.
Late some nights, I still think of you. All the painful memories, life looks different from this view. I gotta move on, but just can't help rooting for you to be yourself. Our time together was bittersweet, driving to the mountains to escape the desert heat. We grew and we changed, then slowly withdrew. I wish I hadn't let you down, but you let me down too. This is so long, I'll still love you anyway. It was good that we chose to go our separate ways. This is so long, glad we're not enemies. I'll make sure to cherish all the memories. I had to leave to chase what I love. Wish you the best. I know times are getting tough. Life has been less than fair, but I hope you're somewhere feeling good about who you are, shining like a star. This is so long, I'll still love you anyway. It was good that we chose to go our separate ways. This is so long, glad we're not enemies. I'll make sure to cherish all the memories. Windows down, your hair blowing in the breeze, escaping the chaos side by side. You'll always be a part This is so long, I'll still love you anyway. It was good that we chose to go our separate ways. This is so long, glad we're not enemies. I'll make sure to cherish all the memories.
Play your fantasies as if you can handle it. Lock your doors to keep reality out of it. Self-help psychology, hey, that's just a book. Lift up your head, nobody even cares to look. Give yourself away, 'cause that's all that you know. Disguise it as some kind of strength that you control. But you just can't stand to be alone, and that's why you never stay at home, so you go out. Play the night. Wave your hair around as you dance through the clubs. Hiding in the shadows, tell yourself you're tough. So you move around through all the flashing lights. Only talk to aesthetically correct sides. Give yourself away, 'cause that's all that you know. Disguise it as some kind of strength that you control. But you just can't stand to be alone, and that's why you never stay at home, so you go out to play the night. By the light of a candle next to your bed, you fall in love, but not with the one that you're laying with. Your whole world's in your head, because that's where it's safe. But nobody will ever touch your creamy white skin. Another day, another night, oh, what the hell, they're all the same. 'Cause you make it up as you go in your little game. You'll string another along if you think that they fit. Ah, but one of these days your looks will fade and the game will end. Give yourself away, 'cause that's all that you know. Disguise it as some kind of strength that you control. But you just can't stand to be alone, and that's why you never stay at home, so you go out to play the night. Hey, you go out to play the night. Hey, you go out, play the night. Play the night, play it, baby.
I love that song by Vonu. I think it's so great. that was the demo song. So it's really important to understand. A demo song is essentially a song that you record, very low budget, and you try and sell it to a record label. So if he had gotten signed by a record label or had somebody back him financially, because you're a musician, you're going to these shows, these small shows at like bars and stuff, you're making like 50, 75 bucks an hour. Even if you're doing, some sort of performance, you don't get paid very much doing it. Doing music lessons, you paid 50, 70 bucks an hour. It's like what all these professional musicians do is they do music lessons. Because they don't make enough money doing it professionally. You don't make any money on streaming. You don't make any money a lot of times performing, even because performing is expensive. And so he recorded a demo. If that was like a full studio song, it would have been a lot cleaner, and there probably would have been drums in the background and maybe some bass. That's just him singing and playing guitar. It's incredible. It's a very good song. It was a long time ago. He can't. I don't know if he can sing like that anymore, but it's a very good singer. His very unique sound too. Like I love that distortion, that gravelly distortion in his voice. I love Bubba a lot. I'm a huge fan of him. Really, really appreciate him. I think you need people like Bubba in your life. You need these, older people that have seen a lot more than you, that have years and years of experience and knowledge to impart on you. Finding like old based people is kind of like finding Bitcoin. Because like a lot of the old people are not based. A lot of them are sitting there with their massage guns on the slot machines. Bob was living off in the desert, reviewing the lyrics to the songs I'm doing, giving me commentary on it, and renting tractors to build stuff and smoking cigarettes. And he was Bitcoin podcasting up until recently. That's what he's up to. He's based as fuck. I love that guy. And he's a good musician back in the day. And one of the things I really like about him, with the way that he told his story on the last episode of this I did, is he just didn't want to do things like everybody else. He wanted to do his thing. And he suffered for it. He suffered because he wasn't going to be, he chose not to take the easier, softer way, to take the cookie cutter way. They like real Howard Rourke type energy in the Fountainhead. Suffered for over a decade as a professional musician. Flirting with making it. I got a fuck ton of respect for that. For somebody that believed in themselves and went for something. And that's what I love about these musicians that are out there that are really like going after, is they believe in themselves enough to not take the easier, softer way, to try and put something out there that they think, that they feel is important. It takes balls to do that. It takes balls to put yourself out there on the line. And it could be really nerve-wracking too, because if the market rejects you and they don't appreciate you, I mean, that's painful, because it's like rejection of who you are. And it's why it feels so good when people support you vehemently. They really appreciate your stuff. When they're your biggest supporter and fan, it feels good. But man, I love talking to Bubba. I'm excited to talk. I plan on doing that with more. It's just it's hard to fit things up with this time slot, but I'm gonna figure out a way to get some of these musicians that I really love on this show. It's one of my commitments. Because there's just it's such a cool opportunity to tell somebody, somebody tell their story, and just sit back and listen. But yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going to be interviewing Matt Odell this week. I've been a big fan of his for a while. Disagree with him a lot. I don't know why he has to be so grumpy. But I'm excited. I'm excited to sit down with Matt. I've been listening to Rabbit Hole Recap on and off for a long time. Big fan of Citadel Dispatch. He's really been one of the longest running like big promoters of the value for value economy, and so he started doing the stuff that I was I'm trying to do today way before I did. So I got a tremendous amount of respect for that as a true pioneer in the content ecosystem. But there's people out there doing cool things. There's really cool artists. Man, Madex put out some fire shit. I'm gonna go turn on notifications for when he posts. That's something that you can do. If you really like somebody and you know that the algorithm isn't gonna benefit them, go turn on notifications. Do this for the Bugle account. Or maybe not. I wouldn't say do it for my account because I just do like grumpy things. Or I don't know. You might like it. I don't know. I like to put my music out there. I think I'm a little bit higher signal on Nostr than I am on Twitter. But here, let me. I was on Madex's page. Let me go back to it. Man, he puts out some cool stuff, and I like that people really like his stuff. I just think the aesthetic of his artwork is so cool. Share my screen. This is sick. He does these necklaces. Man, I forgot. I'm streaming on 2 different places. I wonder if I could share the screen on both of them. Sorry, people on Twitter. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, I guess I won't do too many share screens. I'll switch them off. Yeah, Madex is fucking cool, dude. I got a tremendous amount of respect. He likes Atlas Shrugged. He's putting out all these cool things all the time. It's very unique. It's very different. Charges a lot of money for it because they're worth a lot of money. Tahini's got a Madex piece, I guess. That's super cool. I need to meet it. Yeah, these are the 2 that I really liked. It's got this crazy wolf. So badass. You put this on a t-shirt, this is the only time it's cool to wear a wolf t-shirt. V for Vendetta. The 5th of November is coming up, folks. Remember. November 5th is a fun holiday. I love sitting and watching V for Vendetta every November 5th or reading the comic book. If you haven't read the graphic novel is pretty good. But yeah. Looking forward to getting more musicians on this show. That's one of my goals. I'm also looking forward to figuring out all the problems with Zap.Stream. I think tonight might have been easier on my part. I've been talking with Rayo behind the scenes to figure out why the stream didn't work, but yeah, people are going crazy. Just don't let yourself be beaten down by the gaslighting. There's going to be a lot of gaslighting before or in the future. There has been a lot of gaslighting before. There's going to be a lot of gaslighting in the future. And if you're kind of like a sane or rational person, you might feel like you're losing your mind as you're watching everybody else bicker about all sorts of stupid shit. Don't lose your mind. Don't let them do that to you. Don't let them take the most valuable thing away from you, which is your capacity to think for yourself. Defend that at all costs. Kind of getting towards the end of the show. Got a few more songs. Cursed with Sight is this is a very fun song that I really enjoy. I think I'm going to be performing this for some people here pretty soon. Love this song. Followed up by Ungovernable Misfits, dedicated to the fine folks at Ungovernable Misfits, to Max and John, my buddies over there.
I don't know why the Lord cursed me with the ability to see a world trapped in darkness, thinking that it's free. People walk by with blank expressions like they're in a dream, but I can't join them 'cause I've seen things I can't unsee. I beg the Lord to take away the weight on my soul. I begged him to give me peace and let me feel like I'm in control. But no matter what I do, I can't shake the image from my head. The only path I can walk is to face the fight ahead. I wandered through the desert till I found out who I am. I learned everything I once believed was a vicious scam. The journey taught me to listen and to let go of regret. Now I'm in paradise, chain smoking cigarettes. The future looks bleak, but I cannot accept defeat. Getting backed into a corner with nowhere to retreat. The spiders spin their webs in order to trap those who resist. Yet I choose to walk forward into their midst. When I finally die, I know I will have lived well, with a clean conscience that I refuse to sell. The rules of the game are grotesque and insane, but if I do nothing, I would be the one to blame. I can't pretend to know how this story ends, but I don't have to walk alone because I'm with friends. The journey is a hard one, but is the only one I know. The opportunities before me are ones that I won't forgo. I don't know why the Lord cursed me with the ability to see a world trapped in darkness, thinking that it's free. People walk by with blank stares like they're in a dream, but I can't join them 'cause I've seen things I can't unsee. I light my cigarette, take a good long puff. I live with no regrets, I've heard quite enough. They whisper their lies, yet still I'm immune. Pain will make you wise, I have nothing left to lose. I'm the man they warned you about, the one that gives them fear. I have no room for doubt, my direction crystal clear. I'll burn it all to the ground before I will ever submit. Can you hear the sound, the song of the ungovernable misfit? I won't live my life for you, nor ask you to live yours for mine. Seeking what is good and true, never wasting a moment of time. Choosing discomfort in search of something more. I'm choosing to run towards fate, not afraid to take risks and explore. Doing what it takes to be great. I'm the man they warned you about, the one that gives them fear. I have no room for doubt, my direction crystal clear. I'll burn it all to the ground before I will ever submit. Can you hear the sound, the song of the ungovernable misfit? I don't care what the masses think, they don't have the capacity to use their brains. They drown their sorrows in distractions and drink, pumping garbage through their veins. They look at me and judge, maladjusted, unhappy and unfulfilled. I will stand my ground and refuse to budge as I wait for it to break so I can rebuild. I'm the man they warned you about, the one that gives them fear. I have no room for doubt, my direction crystal clear. I'll burn it all to the ground before I will ever submit. Can you hear the sound, the song of the ungovernable misfit?
You know who really loves that Ungovernable Misfits song is John from the Ungovernable Misfits. I got to hear John sing it for me in person at Lake Satoshi. That was truly special. I got to hear Fundamentals play one of my songs Under Those Chemtrail Skies. That was an opener that we used for the Bugle Weekly a long time ago, and he really liked it. He stuck with it. He learned it on guitar. He sang it. That was fun. That was great. Seeing Noah Grumman sing Rod's song 40 Hours Per Week, fucking incredible. Oh. There's something happening here, folks, with the intellectual Silk Road, and it's really cool. There's people doing things that are inspiring and interesting and cool. People are working hard. People are being creative. People are, building communities that are worth hanging out with. and go have a conversation with people about something substantive instead of talking about paper Bitcoin or which node implementation you should run. Those are typically not conversations, and if they are, they're typically not for very long because they're focused on more important things, like the things you're working on, things that matter to you. If you haven't checked it out, go check out the Ungovernable Misfits podcast. All of those guys a lot. They were huge supporters of Bugle when we first started. They were reading Bugle articles on their show. Those guys are awesome. They support us. They share some of their boosts with us. They're good friends too. I should do one of these nights with Avi Burra. I think that would be a lot of fun from Pleb Chain. Maybe I'll just cycle through, some of my favorite people in the intellectual Silk Road. We'll discuss music too. But yeah, folks, we're kind of getting towards the end of the show, unfortunately. I got one song left. I guess I'll talk about it a little bit more. I put this out today. I put out a video of the song today, and I'm really proud of it. I really like it. Fundamentals freaked out when he heard it. John freaked out when he heard it. I don't know if John freaked out, but he said he liked it. He said it was really good. It's called Here With Me Now. And it's a man rapping and a woman singing the chorus. And it kind of sounds like a love song, but it really isn't. It's just talking about like how you need connection. So like I talked about earlier, it's just like quit freaking out. You want to survive the fourth turning if you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off because you're freaking out at what all the propaganda media is putting in your brain, responding to stimulus like an NPC. Chill out, take a cigarette break, breathe, dance a little, reset your nervous system, listen to some good music, maybe sing some things, go try and sing a Noah Grumman song and then like feel super depressed and then still listen to it because it's good, but then go try and sing something easy. But it's about the song's about connection. Like you can't survive this shit alone. I think people are realizing this. That the people that are like the happiest and most successful are the people that are surrounded by people that like them, that support them, that actually care about them. Like really care about them. Might not have all the same opinions, but they'll like show up if you ask for help type of people. And you'll show up for them if they ask for help. You reciprocate it. You'll be fine if you have those people that you can rely on that will support you. But yeah, this kind of wraps up the show. This is the PAZNIA Radio Network, doing the show for my good friend Rayo, who has Liberty Under Attack Publications, my favorite book publisher. Go check out the website, libertyunderattack.com, or I think it might be libertyunderattackpublications.com or libertyunderattack.com. Either way, try both of them. Just put in the search engine, you'll find it. But nobody uses domain names for the most part anymore. But yeah, go buy some non-KYC books. I'm a huge fan of non-KYC books. Non-KYC books matter, folks. It's the best way to buy books. I want to thank you for listening to this. This song, Here With Me Now, it's live on Wave Lake. It should be showing up on the Fiat music stream platforms here pretty soon. I just published it right before I went live, and they take a little bit to twirl their dicks and publish it. The video's on YouTube, the video's on our Twitter page if you want to go check out the video. I think with the visuals add a little bit more depth to the song, I think, personally. Go check it out. Thank you everybody for tuning in and listening. Apologies on not having the streaming on Noster. We'll try and have that sorted next week. be back on Primal, back on Zap.Stream. But thanks if you tuned in on Twitter or YouTube or Odysee or wherever you're watching. This is Here With Me Now.
The world around us may be crashing down. It's hard not to be consumed with doubt. But I'm okay, 'cause you're here with me now.
Yeah. The person on the TV screens for more war, arguing that only dropping bombs can settle the score. More printing and surveillance, we've been here before, but the pain is so intense that it can't be ignored. Getting priced out of the things that bring you purpose. A generation aimlessly wandering, feeling worthless. The masses are angry, arguing who to steal from, but I'm just here trying to experience freedom. Being a slave to no one is what I dream of, but the slaves around me want me to be them. There are days it feels like I'm all alone, consumed by the isolation of being unknown. I'm glad you're with me, 'cause I need it. Hopelessness is alive, but you can't be alone to defeat it.
The world around us may be crashing down. It's hard not to be consumed with doubt. But I'm okay, 'cause you're here with me now. Ooh, I've been searching all around, praying to be found, but I'm not alone, because you're here with me now. With me now. With me now.
There's a weight I drop from caring what people think. Why consider the opinions of the people bringing us to the brink? I just want to work hard, but they keep getting in my way, leeching off my labor because they have debts to pay. When sanity and honesty are discouraged and condemned, society lacks a moral compass. Truth is like dust in the wind. The temptation for despair grows like a raging storm. There is an anger in my chest for trying to make me conform. They tell me that I'm sick for trusting my gut and having conviction, while they spin their tales of insidious fiction. They think my body and mind is their jurisdiction, yet the pictures they paint a riddle with obvious contradiction. The whole system is rotten from top to bottom. I will fight to the death before self-respect is forgotten.
The world around us may be crashing down. It's hard not to be consumed with doubt. But I'm okay, 'cause you're here with me now. I've been searching all around, praying to be found, but I'm not alone, because you're here with me now. With me now. With me now.
The truth matters because lies have consequences. You can't get to where you want if you accept their pretenses. Democracy is about using bad information to form consensus. Learning what's real, you must learn to trust your senses. It hurts to see how the world works, but hurts more to ignore it. Running up debts but future generations can't afford it. Having a future worth living in lies to the few that can see. We rely on those who are willing to die in order to be free. Many choose to sacrifice their lives to protect the status quo, dying for their rulers who sit in safety on their throne. Despite all the chaos, we found each other somehow. Hope is not lost because you're here with me now. The evil is overwhelming, but finding beauty isn't art. Darkness is the absence of light. Lighting a fire is the start. Yeah.
The world around us may be crashing down. It's hard not to be consumed with doubt. But I'm okay, 'cause you're here with me now.
You're listening to the PAZNIA Radio Network.
This is the basic law of life, and dear listeners, it is spiritual in its nature. If man failed to do everything in his power to protect his life, as a result of such neglect lost his life, then the destiny for which the soul came to earth would end there. Without life, a body or medium to function through, spiritual attainment would be impossible, ladies and gentlemen. Spirituality would then be forfeited. You see, if man's life was threatened without cause on his part, and he failed to do everything in his power to prevent death, he would then be guilty of three actual crimes. He would first of all permit the enemy to commit murder. Next, he would be committing suicide by failing to protect the most precious possession given to man by his Creator. And worst of all, he would end whatever his destiny might be, the purpose for which body, mind, and life had been given to him. And I believe it's to learn something. In one respect, man is forced to be a warring, not a murdering creature. And I might inject here that the Ten Commandments does not say, in its original form, thou shalt not kill. It says, ladies and gentlemen, and you can check this, if you wish, go to the original Hebrew and Greek, it says, thou shalt not murder. So in one respect, man is forced to be a warring, not a murdering creature. From his birth, the law of self-preservation forces him to be on guard against every inimical force attempting to destroy him by one means or another. He must be on the alert to prevent man, natural forces, or his own carnal desires to betray him into acts of degradation. Man is a warring creature. But his war, I tell you, his war is an honorable one. It is one of protection. First himself, so that he may protect those he is responsible for, but in doing so must not take unfair advantage of others, nor be guilty of unrighteousness. The nature of this was and is actually spiritual. It is the battle of righteousness against evil. It is a war biblically spoken of as taking place in heaven because it is waged within man's spiritual nature. He fights to fulfill destiny and to finally create heaven on earth for himself and others who follow. By the war of righteousness, wherein there is no selfishness, he attains the consciousness which makes him a man, knowing both good and evil, having chosen good to attain the promised sonship. Notice, you must choose. You must choose. Each and every one of you listening to this broadcast tonight must choose, and you must choose very quickly. You might ask, is there actually a need for some form of evil in the life of man? Was this, together with some form of fear, ordained in the beginning? And I say nothing has been ordained, but if the divine law is to be fulfilled in the life of man, then it is certainly necessary that he, according to sacred concepts, become a crusader in God's cause, and not exist as a negative, effortless, uncreative, unproductive creature, a leech, a parasite upon the rest. The first command is that he must become a man in the true sense of the term, and this implies that he must prepare himself to meet the enemy that is ever alert to destroy the best that he has created. He must meet evil as the soldier meets the enemy. Doing this in the righteousness of his conscience neutralizes fear. Many of you call and ask me, Bill, aren't you afraid? My answer has always been and always will be no. No, no, and no. For I know from where I have come and I know where I am going. I know who I am, and I know that I possess a soul. I fear the actions of no man. I fear the judgment of no man. I fear only the judgment of my God. And I know that if I am doing what is right, I need not ever fear that judgment. And therefore, I am not afraid.
You've just heard a transmission of the PAZNIA radio network, the entertainment and propaganda arm of the Free Republic of PAZNIA, a public service of the PAZNIA Free Press.